Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online, your go-to spot for mind-blowing truths from the world around us, and sometimes from deep in our past. Today, we're diving headfirst into an archaeological bombshell that's rewriting the story of our ancient ancestors. Imagine this. It's 20,000 years ago, the height of the last ice age. What do you picture? People huddled in caves, hunting mammoths? Well, new discoveries are adding a whole new chapter, one involving the largest creatures on Earth, whales. Archaeologists have found incredible whalebone tools, crafted by ancient humans, pushing back our understanding of marine resource use by millennia. We're talking sophisticated technology from a time we often underestimate. This isn't just about old bones. It's about clever humans, lost ecosystems, and a connection to the ocean far deeper than we ever imagined. Now, finding evidence of ancient coastal life isn't easy. Think about it. Coastlines are constantly changing, battered by waves, and subject to rising sea levels. Many ancient sites are now lost beneath the waves. But despite these challenges, a dedicated international team of scientists hit the jackpot. Around the Bay of Biscay, in places like the Isturiz Cave in France and Santa Catalina Cave in Spain, researchers have unearthed over 170 whalebone objects. That includes 83 distinct tools and 90 other bone fragments. Using cutting-edge techniques like zooarchaeology, by mass spectrometry, think CSI for ancient bones, identifying species from tiny protein traces, and good old radiocarbon dating, they've pinpointed the age and origin of these artifacts. And the results? Some of these tools are a staggering 19,000 to 20,000 years old. The oldest champions come from sites in Cantabrian Spain, Rascaño, and El Huyo. What's more, these ancient artisans weren't picky. They used bones from at least 5, possibly 6 different types of large whales. We're talking sperm whales, fin whales, blue whales, gray whales, and either bowhead or right whales. And get this, gray whale bones in the Atlantic? That's a huge clue that the marine world back then was very different. So what do these 20,000-year-old tools actually tell us about life back then? Prepare to be amazed. First, sophisticated tool technology. These weren't just crude clubs. We're seeing complex shapes, deadly projectile points for spears, spear shafts themselves, sharp cutting edges, and even drill-like tips. This shows a toolkit adapted for all sorts of tasks, especially for exploiting marine life. Making these involved grinding, polishing, and careful shaping. These people knew their materials. Whalebone is dense, tough, and more durable than land animal bones. They even figured out that the long, straight jaw bones of sperm whales were perfect for making spear points. Second, it seems they were opportunistic scavengers, not active whalers. Let's be real, taking down a fin whale or a deep-diving sperm whale with Paleolithic tech? Highly unlikely. Instead, these coastal communities were smart. The Bay of Biscay's geography, with deep waters close to shore, meant whale strandings were relatively common. A beached whale was an enormous, free bounty, and they even sourced bones from carcasses that might have been there for decades. Third, comprehensive resource utilization. Whales were more than just bone. They provided mountains of meat and blubber, essential nutrition. 90 intact bone fragments found in Santa Catalina Cave look like they were crushed to extract fatty oil. This oil was liquid gold during the harsh ice age, a vital nutrient and possibly even fuel. Some bones, not great for tools, were lugged kilometers inland and up steep cliffs, probably for oil extraction. Talk about commitment. Fourth, this challenges old narratives. The classic view of Paleolithic Europeans was that they were mainly land-based hunters. These finds paint a picture of people regularly visiting the coast, actively and effectively using marine resources. This would have totally changed their diet, their social structures, how they moved, and even their cognitive abilities. Adapting to marine resources might have been a crucial lifeline when land-based food was scarce during climate shifts. And fifth, this hints at their social organization and knowledge. Processing a massive whale carcass before it rots? That takes teamwork, even for small groups. It points to complex social structures and a deep, embedded knowledge of whale behavior, tides, and the coastal environment. Hauling those huge bones inland shows just how valuable these resources were. Beyond human ingenuity, these ancient whale bones are like time capsules for past marine ecosystems. Chemical analysis, like looking at stable isotopes in the bones, suggests that the feeding habits, and maybe even the migration routes of these ancient whales, were a bit different from their modern relatives. This gives us a rare peek into how marine ecology has changed over vast timescales. The presence of so many large whale species shows the Bay of Biscay was an incredibly rich and dynamic marine hotspot back then, maybe even more biodiverse than today. The cooler climate, possibly with seasonal sea ice, might have created conditions similar to modern Arctic waters, supporting species like the gray whale, which we now only find in the North Pacific and Arctic. There's also a fascinating timeline to this whalebone industry. It seems to pop up around 20,000 years ago, then really explodes between 17,500 and 16,000 years ago. During this peak, the tools spread from Asturias in Spain all the way to the Central Pyrenees in France. But then, almost as quickly as it boomed, it virtually disappeared. Why? It doesn't seem to be because they ran out of whales or forgot how to work bone. It might have simply been a cultural choice, a fashion in toolmaking that lasted a couple of thousand years and then faded. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? This groundbreaking research showcases the incredible adaptability and smarts of our ancestors. They weren't just surviving. They were innovating, transforming materials like tough whale bone into sophisticated tools. It challenges what we thought we knew about prehistoric tool use, diet, and how early humans interacted with the sea. Clearly, coastal resources, and especially these giant cetaceans, played a much bigger role in some Paleolithic communities than we've given them credit for. This discovery fits into a broader pattern of intensified coastal resource use during what's known as the Magdalenian period, roughly 17,000 to 12,000 years ago. This era saw an unprecedented use of shellfish, seals, dolphins, and fish. It suggests the development of sophisticated coastal adaptations, perhaps some of Europe's earliest truly settled coastal economies. While finding a stranded whale was likely an opportunistic jackpot rather than the main reason for settling by the sea, these massive, periodic windfalls would have certainly strengthened their connection to the coast. Understanding these ancient ways of managing marine resources, born from necessity and ingenuity, gives us a much deeper timeline for our relationship with the oceans. While these Paleolithic folks were scavengers, not hunters of whales, their ability to fully utilize these massive animals speaks volumes about their ecological knowledge and adaptability. As we face our own modern challenges with marine conservation and using resources sustainably, looking back at our distant past reminds us of the long, complex, and vital relationship humanity has always had with the giants of the sea. It's definitely food for thought on resilience, adaptation, and the timeless importance of our marine environments. That's all for this episode of G Fun Facts Online. Pretty amazing stuff, right? Who knew our ancestors were so deeply connected to the marine world so long ago? If you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll be back soon with more fantastic facts. Until then, stay curious.